Hi everybody. What a horrible day it has been at Ronde Van Vlaanderen earlier this week, with Stuyve and Van Aert breaking a collarbone and more, meaning their classic season is over. Also Pedersen and Girmay didn't keep the rubber side down. That being said, I'm quite happy to have called Jorgensen for the win. Then this Sunday, March the 31st, it is time for the first of two holy days, the Ronde van Vlaanderen, 271k, comprising cobbles, Belgian weather and Flemish hills, notably the Oude Quaremont-Paterberg combo, which features twice amongst a bunch of other climbs. Looking at the winners of the final 10 editions, not surprisingly, it's all Monument Men. Half of the last 10 editions were won solo, with Philippe Gilbert's monster solo in 2017 being the most memorable one to me. I'm putting a link to a 25-second flashback in the video description below, and the remaining editions saw a sprint of 2 to 4 riders. Throughout this race's history, the biggest number of riders finishing in the same time was 16 of them, back in 1949. In the last 20 years, it's never been more than 4 riders. Here's an overview of some of the riders lining up with previous Ronde van Vlaanderen experience, comprising 4 former winners, Alexander Kristoff, Kasper Asgreen, Alberto Bettiol and Mathieu van der Poel, who managed to win Flanders in 2020 and 2022. Then, there's some riders with an above average number of top 10 finishes compared to their starts taken. Drawing my particular attention are Van Baarle, Pedersen, Benoot, Fred Wright and yes, you've guessed it, Matteo Jorgensen, 9th here last year on his first participation. Here's the betting odds at the time of recording, with Mathieu van der Poel being the outright favourite for obvious reasons. Check out the E3 Classic and Gent-Wevelgem highlights in case you missed out on them. Then, there's the riders to watch in my opinion, with a bunch of teams simply not making the cut. Mathieu van der Poel at Alpecin de Koning, basically the only top rider who had a clean run-up to the Ronde. At Ineos, Narvaez is being mentioned by some sources, yet it isn't confirmed yet. Should he line up, he's one to consider. Welles or Bjerg at UAE, even though neither of them ever did really well here. And at Visma Leasebike, they're in big trouble, with all their big shots out with either injury or sickness. That being said, the level of riders in this team is that high across the board that they still have serious contenders lining up. Jorgensen and Van Baarle can win this, while Benoot and Tratnik are solid top 10 material. Note that their run-in wasn't perfect either. Tratnik crashed really hard in Gent-Wevelgem and Van Baarle has been feeling sick. It will also be interesting to see which other 2 riders they'll add to this roster. I'm expecting Kooi to be one of them. Mohoric and Fred Wright at Bahrain victorious. Mohoric because he can always surprise, even though till date he never did really well here. And Fred Wright because the Ronde is his classic. Also in 22 and 23 he ended opening classics somewhere between places 20 and 40, as he did this year, to then become 7th and 9th in the Ronde. Bettiol at the F, winner here in 2019, yet never managing to repeat the top 10 on his remaining 6 race starts. Trek, who looked so magnificent a few days back, are also entering the arena with a setback. Stuyve underwent surgery to repair his fractured collarbone, and Pedersen was also involved, yet seemed to have gotten away with it quite well. Let's hope it's not impacting him too much, yet it's certainly reducing his chances. Also watch out for Jonathan Milan. Then we also have Lascano at Movistar, Stefan Kung at Groupama, 6th here last year and 5th the year before that, 16th in the E3 and 3rd in Ronde van Vlaanderen earlier this year. I'm also calling Matthews at Jaiko Alula, 6th, 21st and 11th on earlier participations isn't a bad record. And I'm also calling Girmay, yet with a question mark. He was also involved in the Ronde van Vlaanderen horror crash, went for checks to hospital and was released without fractures. That being said, such a big crash this close to the Ronde can't be good for the system. Dylan Teuns at Israel Premier Tech, 6th here in 22, yet admittedly he hasn't been showing great form yet this season. With a lot of top stars either not lining up or not having had a perfect preparation, other outsiders for the top 10 are Abrahamson at Juno X, Albanese at Arkea and Trentin at Tudor. Mathieu van der Poel is my only 4-star favourite. Jorgensen gets 3 stars. Mohoric, Pedersen, Benoot and Van Baarle get 2 stars. Milan, Wright, Kung and Matthews each get 1 star, while I'm calling Tratnik as a semi-dark horse. And in terms of podium prediction for the 2024 Ronde van Vlaanderen, I'm going with a solo win by Van der Poel, ahead of Jorgensen, who will also cross the line alone, with Pedersen ending in 3rd. Thanks for watching, enjoy the race and see you soon for my Paris-Roubaix preview.